I don't know why this is a controversy, but evidently there are some people that are like mixing it up with this big controversy around Christmas.
Yeah. This started when my husband and I got married and we had our first Christmas tree together, and I wanted the white lights. And he said, what? No, colored lights.
Why is this such a big thing?
Because I think we're very passionate about the way we want our Christmas decorations to look.
Okay.
Like if you have gnomes everywhere. I mean, that's your thing, but somebody next door doesn't like gnomes. They have nutcrackers or angels or nativity scenes.
Well, why is that controversy?
Because you really...
Listen to her. Because
I really wanted white lights. I wanted a Christmas tree with white lights, and I didn't get it. I finally got one. 23 years in, I got one.
Well, good.
And it's about 1.5 feet tall.
Well, then there you go.
But the real tree, the family tree, is all colored lights. So
I think Scott's house is a house divided.
It is. I grew up with colored lights. My wife likes the white lights. But you know what? We have a solution. We have an artificial tree that has both.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
we just step on it and it changes lights.
You have
for
to
whoever's, gets to it faster.
You have to step on it?
There's a little plunger thing on the floor.
It's a button.
And you tap it, and
okay.
it changes the lights. So when I'm in the living room, colored lights. But I know when the lights go to clear because she's been in there.
She walks in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Pat just texted, and she said that they have to be flashing color lights. They have to be
Oh, now they have to flash.
So she's the one that is all about the colored lights. But I'm telling you, there are people extremely passionate about the white lights, like
Well, that's
Scott's
fine.
wife.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. It's okay.
But it can,
I don't care because if Amy wants white lights, I'm like, okay. If she wants colored lights, I'm like, okay.
you don't care either way.
No. That's why I don't understand why is it a controversy.
I'm passionate. Passionate.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
It's a bit of a controversy, and I don't even know why. It's Christmas, by golly. Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
Yeah. So Pastor Warner texted and said, look, my wife likes the white lights because they're more elegant looking. But I think that some people like the colored lights because it reminds them of when they were a kid.
Yeah, true.
I totally agree with that. I get that. Okay, so Denise may have a solution for this changing Christmas tree lights. They go from white to the colored. She said, our tree is remote control. The whole tree. I wonder if it spins. She says it has colored lights, it has white lights, and it has twinkle lights. And they use the remote control to go through all the settings.
And Liz wants your tree to spin. Did you hear that, Denise?
I mean, if it's got a remote control, you might as well just do
spin
anything.
it. I think Ninja, one of our producers, you have a remote control for your tree.
No,
Oh,
I don't got the money like that.
I thought you said you had one. So what do you have?
No, you just step on it and it turns the lights on and it turns the lights off.
Isn't a remote control
Perfect.
like $4?
No. Because you got to get the remote control lights that go with the remote control, then the batteries that go with the remote control, and the batteries die. And if you don't remember to change the batteries when you put it in
Listen.
storage, then they
Wow.
corrode and explode.
Don't ever ask that question again.
I
You
will
just made her
never-
mad.
Like, I feel like I need to go to the corner. Where's my timeout chair?
Patty is here at his radio. Okay, you say you do something for the lights before the lights. I think that's what you said. What is it, Patty?
About 8 years ago, I asked my husband to make me a cross because I was going to decorate it in the house. And we put lights on it and put it outside. So every year the grandchildren come over. No decorations inside or outside the house go up until the cross and the manger are put up. And once they are put up and lit, then we can start decorating everything else.
I'm curious what your neighbors have thought about the cross being lit in your front yard for Christmas.
One of my neighbors is Christian and very faithful, but I wonder about the rest of them, and I pray for them.
That is such a cool tradition. I love that, Patty. So when do you actually take down the lighted cross from your lawn?
The cross stays up until Easter. We leave it lit every single night until Easter. And at Easter, we take after Good Friday, we take it down. Good Friday night, in the evening, we take it down, so in the dark. And then the morning, it's gone.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
What is the flavor of the Christmas lights at your house? It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. Merry Christmas.
Crystal texted and said, we have a real tree in our dining room. Now, this one has colored lights. It's traditional. It has the popcorn garland. But the 12-foot tree is in the living room is artificial, and her husband loathes how big it is. It has the white lights, all the latest decorations, and then all the handmade ornaments.
What does he like about it?
As
That
well.
it's so big?
Oh, he can't stand it. I guess that it's so big. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, but it's beautiful, but it is huge. It's 12 feet tall.
That is a big one. Maybe he doesn't like all the work.
Maybe,
Got to get a big ladder, try to climb up that thing.
Right.
Put the star on the top.
Yeah, totally get that. And then I think we had another. Yeah, Andrea texted and said, because I was talking about having a remote control.
Oh, she wants to spin somebody's tree.
I think it would be so much fun. Just spin it. You can see all the decorations. So Andrea texted and said, you can actually buy a spinning base at Hobby Lobby.
I wonder how fast. Can you have it all a variety of speeds?
Well, you don't want all the decorations to be out,
They're flying off the thing, right? Here's an open mic that just came in off the My HISRadio app.
Hey, Rob and Lizz. My family can take this controversy one step further. Does an angel go on top of the tree or a star?
Oh, no. Oh, wow. We have an angel on ours.
Is it something you've had forever?
We've had it a while.
Good while, yeah. I don't have a topper. I'm not allowed.
Why?
I'm not allowed to have a topper.
Why? Is your tree all the way up to the ceiling?
It's pretty big, pretty tall.
Yeah.
And I can't, even on a chair. I mean, you know how short I am.
So why not allowed?
I don't know. Like, we've had the discussion, and I'm like, please, I want to put a topper on the tree. Why do we need a topper on the tree? So
That's not how Joey sounds.
in my head, he does.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
She got all of her friends together, and they were going to have a party. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
You know, after all these years, finally someone recognized her. Laureen has never had a birthday party until just now.
Wow.
Never in her life. There was never the Sweet 16. There's never a surprise party. There was never any of that stuff. Finally she gets a birthday party at the ripe young age of 105.
Oh, my goodness. That breaks my heart. She never had a birthday party up until that point.
She finally got one.
She got one now.
105 years old. There were line dancers and square dancers and miniature pony.
Yeehaw.
And the pony's name was Daniel Jackson.
Daniel Jackson.
That was her best friend.
A fitting name for a miniature pony. This is awesome.
She had this jeweled tiara on.
Yeah.
Head was decorated. It was bright and flowery and pink, the dress that she had on.
You know what? She's a spitfire, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, she's got such spunk at 105.
Yeah.
I want me some line dancers in my party.
Well, she definitely got them. 105 years old, finally in Gastonia, got her birthday party.
Well, happy birthday.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
There is a Facebook group, and it's called Mums Who Clean, and they post, all these different hacks and all these different things to do. Well, there is a woman that is causing some controversy because she gave her Christmas tree a bath, like literally in the bathtub.
Well, good for her. Get all the dust and stuff, all that thing, all right?
That's what she said, but it's like she has the water like almost up to the top. The entire artificial Christmas tree, it is artificial, so she didn't bathe the real tree, thankfully.
Yeah.
The pine needles would have been everywhere. But she puts it in like it's having a bubble bath because that's what she said. She's knocking the dust off of it. It's been in storage. And her Mums Who Clean group, they're kind of having a fit.
Why?
Because they're like, why are you doing this?
She's getting all the junk off of it that just sat in the attic or the garage.
Look, you should see the water in this bathtub.
Right? It makes you think.
It does make you think. Like, I would never in my life have thought, and I grew up, we always had an artificial tree. My mama never put it in the bathtub, but now I'm thinking maybe she should have.
Right?
Because it's rough.
It's really rough.
Cobwebs. Now, I mean, if you put it in a box or in a storage container,
It's still
it may
going to
not.
get dusty and stuff.
I don't know if it's in a container, maybe not. In a box, possibly.
And then smelly.
And smelly
Yeah.
and just gross.
Give it a nice little bubble bath.
Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Yeah, there's this lady that says there is a surefire way that she knows that this one question that you ask at the end of a job interview will get you the job. It will just get you the job. It's just one simple question. It's almost guaranteed you'll get the job if you ask the question.
Is the question, am I getting this job?
No, that's not the question.
Goodness,
No.
okay.
No. But she says at the end of the interview, which some of these interviews can be really grueling and all these questions and, there's a lot. But at the end, usually the person who's doing the job interview, who's asking you all the questions, will ask you, hey, do you have any questions for me?
Sure, right.
Here's what she says to ask. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It is just so simple. She says, here's what you say when they ask you about if you have any questions. Are there any concerns you have about me and that we can address right before we end?
That's good.
Are there any concerns you have about me that we can address before we end? That's the question. It gets it all out.
It does.
And then you're hired. That's what she says. It's almost a guarantee.
I think because when you go through the interview process, they have concerns. Whether, it's your family situation, your schedule situation, whatever the case is. And then if you kind of turn the tables and just put it out there, just go ahead. Let's get this out of the way.
Are there any concerns you have about me that we can address before we end? That's the question.
As someone that would be interviewing, I wonder how I would react to that.
Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
Talk about a tall tree. It's 140 feet. They call it the world's tallest fresh cut Christmas tree.
It would have to be. It would have to be.
That is 20 7-foot trees stacked on top of each other. That's how tall this thing is.
How do you get the star on that thing?
Well, a crane.
Well,
I
even
am
thinking,
sure.
A crane does a crane go that tall? I don't know.
I'm sure.
Okay.
They said they used 20,000 colored lights on it, 10,000 ornaments to prep the tree, and it's got a nickname.
The Christ tree.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
that's so good.
And the whole town decided that was going to be in the name of this tree. I'm sure it had to be up for a vote and all kinds of stuff.
It's in Oklahoma. So it's in Indred, Oklahoma. I have no idea where that is in Oklahoma. I just know the wind blows there. And so they've got that 140-foot Christ tree, because it's a Christmas tree, the Christ tree in the middle of town. And they celebrated when they lit the thing. I mean, not only did they have a tree lighting ceremony, they had this big concert. The orchestra was out there and fireworks.
Well, they had to. I mean, when you have a 140-foot Christmas tree and you know that half the town is showing up to put the decorations on it and help with the lights, and where do you get a skirt that big?
Right. And then the decorations, and then you've got to put the right decoration on it.
Yeah, and you've got to have a party just to say, hey, we're celebrating this Christ. Christ is born today.
If Scott were to put an ornament on the tree, I think it's that homemade one that you have, Scott.
I got one. I love all the ornaments my kids have made, and I've still got one that I made when I was 8 in school.
Check this out.
The mace. So we had a craft day, had the mason jar lids, right? And then you took your school picture and kind of cut it out, glued it on there, and then you had a little ribbon of glitter around it, and then you put a little string on it.
How'd you get your hand on that again?
It was in a box,
Well, I mean, it was in a box. Okay.